work at the University of Akron Research Foundation as the Akron Entrepreneurial Fellow. We are part of an ecosystem of 14 collaborators over 21 counties in Northeast Ohio, and we help early stage entrepreneurs pursue the potential of their idea through validation, but we also help with technology, commercialization, and application of UA-based research. So that's me, that's where I work, that's what we do.
Hi, I'm Haley Burns. I'm the founder of Fund 17. We're a local nonprofit here in New Orleans that supports entrepreneurs that are taking their hustles and trying to turn them into a livelihood. And we do that through 3 different tiered programming to grow from an informal hustle stage of business to something that can create jobs. We also facilitate microloan and other kinds of capital access, do free community workshops, and manage a radically affordable incubator workspace.
Hi everyone, I'm Sabrina Short. I am the founder of Nolavate Black, New Orleans Black Tech Network, and I'm also the founder and executive producer of Black Tech NOLA, which is New Orleans Black Tech Conference that's held annually during Essence Festival. Our goal is to raise awareness around diversity and inclusion in the tech industry and support early stage startups with their tech ventures, particularly around founders from underrepresented groups.
And again, I'm Sloan Miller, the executive director of INNO, which is a conference here in New Orleans between Jazz Fest. In addition to that, I was an entrepreneur in residence at Idea Village, which was one of the 3 accelerator incubators here in New Orleans, and I'm a startup advisor to a number of local startups.
Thank you for that introduction. We'll jump right into it. So my first question is, what were some of the biggest challenges or needs of entrepreneurs, and what resources or service filled the gap to get them from where they were to where they should or desire to be, especially with a lack of talent and capital in the ecosystem?
Are we going to kind of just take it? Okay. So we see kind of like 3 major barriers with entrepreneurs that we work with. One is obviously access to capital. We hear that kind of time and time again, and that's something that we have found to be very true. In the market of entrepreneurs that we work with, access to capital is a major barrier specifically because they usually don't need a whole lot of it. And so traditional banks and lenders don't see it as a profitable endeavor. And so that's why we try to facilitate to microloans on an affordable basis. We also see time as a huge personal challenge. You know, you have someone that's a mother working a full-time business, but also has this really awesome idea or passion. And how do you access the resources and the technical assistance and the network and the community that you need to be able to grow your business that way? And so we really structure our programs around that kind of thought process in terms of accessibility, that we can meet you when you at an affordable rate and at whatever your kind of skill level to technology and those kinds of things, whatever that looks like. And then the last thing is a bureaucracy. When, especially in a small business space, figuring out city processes and your LLC and which kind of structure is right for you, and then actually getting someone from a government office to speak to you in plain language is pretty challenging. So we also try to break that down and make it simple, and are also working on trying to build partnerships with those entities here in New Orleans to bring a voice to what those challenges look like.
I just want to emphasize how much I'm a fan of Fund 17. So with our entrepreneurs particularly, it's about really creating a space for people to share information, right? And so particularly solo entrepreneurs, they work alone, right? They're at home, they're working weekends, night hours, and there isn't a whole lot of space for coming together with other people of like minds. And so what we're seeing is that entrepreneurs are duplicating efforts. There are opportunities for partnership and collaboration, but they don't because they don't know what the other person is doing. And so through Nolavate, we're trying to create this network of ideas and experience and sharing of information so that you can support one another. And we all know support goes a long way when you have cheerleaders in your corner encouraging you through your work. And so that's what we want to build and create is how can we become stronger together. And as we're mapping this brand new tech ecosystem that's emerging in New Orleans, we want to make sure that our tech entrepreneurs definitely have the tools and resources like that you talk about, especially like access to capital. Okay, if you've pitched before, can you give me some tips on my pitch? If you've built a deck before, can you give me some ideas on how to do that? Okay, you created a budget for your startup, but you're not exactly sure how to execute or implement that, right? But if I've done that already, maybe I can share that with you. Another piece of that sort of sharing information is that we do have institutions and organizations like Fund 17 that a lot of people still don't know about, right? So there are organizations that are providing this amazing information that just our population is not getting access to. So how can we continue to share and learn from and grow with as a community?
So I'll add that the Gulf South is a little more insular, isolated communities that aren't as connected. And I think that's what organizations like Fund 17 and No Late Black and a number of startup resources here in New Orleans are trying to do is encourage that collaboration, learning from each other, borrowing ideas that are working on the East Coast and West Coast so that we can have, as Steve Case talks about, from Houston to Tampa, a third coast of engaged ecosystem of entrepreneurs helping each other, engaging in the community.
Thank you. So, question, what role has higher education or universities plays in enriching the entrepreneurial community or the tech community?
So for Nolavate Black, we have a network of educated entrepreneurs. Like many of them have gone to college, they're trained in STEM fields, they have the experience, who we're actually trying to tap into are entrepreneurs who don't have education. And so sharing the information of non-traditional routes of training and making sure that people understand that higher ed is not the only way to get to the goal. And so we have organizations here that teach coding, and you have boot camps for starting your business, and all types of tracks, right, that don't necessarily include higher ed. And so we want to make sure that, especially our, I would say our 35 to 45 range of folks who may not be interested in going back and accumulating more debt, to just launch a business. How can we do that in a non-traditional way? So that's kind of what we're exploring, making sure, again, sharing that information. You don't necessarily have to go back for your master's. There are tons of people who already have their master's who can support you, but we're going to get you the training that you need to get your business and your concept to the next level.
Sure. And I'll add that there are two large entrepreneurship programs out of Tulane and Loyola, but on top of that, there's an amazing organization called Operation Spark and Tech Talent South that are, as Sabrina was talking about, engaging people who want a career transition, teaching them an entryway into coding, into development. And I would say that on top of that, organizations like Amazon Web Services and DXC have seen the value in that, and they're investing in 2-year programs with Xavier and UNO and Delgado to help career transitions, help people in the community gain the skills that they need to not necessarily go through the traditional education route, but spend a year or two learning the skills and then becoming valuable members of the tech community.
And I want to add to that, too, that the universities are a great place for where these great new ideas are coming from, but may not necessarily have the experience running a business or a company. So we're in this place where, oh, there's some great ideas here. How can we support this next generation of tech folks, but also getting them mentors, right, with folks who've already done it. So we're, just this past Essence Festival, there was a health tech conference that we held at Xavier University for Black tech founders who are focusing on ways that we can improve health in our communities and address health disparities. But there's this matching going on, right, of young people and our experienced techies, and that sharing of information and knowledge and supporting one another.
Thank you. So one of the things that I was curious about is building community. So how does your organization enable or cultivate an environment where others who have been there and done that go back and give advice and are willing to take time out of building their thing to help each other, even if it was I was just there 6 months ago? How do you get people to do that?
This is something that Fund 17 we have been talking a lot about and have been kind of working to go from just a traditional service kind of provider nonprofit into really a diverse and inclusive community where people can come together to support one another and find the resources that they need and be able to give support as well. And so there's been a few different approaches that we've taken to try to make that transition. One is that we offer what are called community benefits to entrepreneurs that complete a program with us. And a lot of it is just referral to new services or eligibility for different kinds of ongoing opportunities. But it's a fairly long list, and we're always growing it as we build new partnerships with other entrepreneurs that want to support our network. And it's a way of just keeping entrepreneurs engaged with us as a community. You are in this program with us, hopefully you grew and learned a lot, but here are all these other ways that you can continue to engage with us beyond just that one program so that we can continue to support you. And like I said, we're building new partnerships. They can offer discounted or pro bono support to the people that have completed our programs. Another part of it are these workshops that we put on that aren't a part of any specific program. And this is free and open to the public, so it's a way for us to connect with new people. It's a way for us to bring in partners who want to share knowledge to our community. And it's a really beautiful thing at these workshops when one person kind of starts talking enough to make the rest of the room comfortable, and a lot of times there's a great presentation, but a lot of the value is the conversation that comes from the entrepreneurs that are in the room and kind of saying, well, this is what's worked for me, and it's a fairly informal environment, and they're able to just kind of network and share knowledge beyond just whatever the presentation is in front of them. And the last thing is keeping it casual. We do potlucks every once in a while. We do different kinds of happy hour events, and we just try to keep our entrepreneurs engaged in that so that they can come and network and feel like they are a part of a growing community that supports them.
So NOLA Ve Black, we're only 2 years old, and in our second year, we were able to bring together over 300 Black tech professionals from across the country. And these included investors, C-suite folks, people who are interested in getting into tech, as well as our new techies. And so we're building community just by creating the space. People feeling like, wow, I'm not the only one in this city who's a developer. I'm not by myself. I'm used to being the only one in the room, right? But now I'm not, right? There are other people of color who are doing some amazing things in the city and across the country, and it's great to have that connection. So we do that just by creating the space and letting them do their thing, right? Let the energy happen on its own and organically. Another way that we're doing is we're building an online database. What we're finding from entrepreneurs is that they want to circulate their dollar among their own communities. So how do I hire a Black photographer? Where can I find a Black developer? Where can I find a Black financial analyst, right? And so we're saying, hey, come to us. We're going to connect you. We do that just kind of on a need basis, they'll give me a call and say, Sabrina, I'm looking for, someone who can build an app. Okay, and I go through my, my list and I find them and I connect them that way. But we want to formalize that actually and create this space where you can go and find people in the tech industry here locally so that we can keep so that ecosystem growing of circulating that dollar, supporting each other's businesses. That's how our businesses grow, right? When people spend money with us. And so we want to support that in that way as well.
And I'd just add, it's about collaboration, but with intention, right? So that there are a couple members of the community, including my fellow panelists, who are super connectors, right? Really well networked and understanding the operations of different aspects of the ecosystem. So asking for help and then giving that help is what we're focused on.
Thank you.
So this question is around inclusion. So what equitable work has been done to elevate the opportunity for minorities, specifically Black men and women, in entrepreneurship, and then even if you can elaborate on tech entrepreneurship?
So at Fund 17, we prioritize working with people of color, low-income individuals, and Native New Orleanians. Most entrepreneurs we work with are all three. And beyond just those kind of demographics, we noticed a need for the kind of everyday New Orleanian that had a business to be supported with services and community that were specifically tailored to how they could access those resources. So there's been a number of different approaches that we've kind of integrated into the way that we work so that we can connect with those entrepreneurs that are disconnected from the greater entrepreneurial ecosystem. Part of that is just being in the community a lot. We've done a number of research projects where we're actually knocking on doors and asking people in the neighborhood if they have a business or a hustle or something that helps them support their income. And if so, what are your needs, and understanding what their needs are, and then also trying to offer support to them. And beyond our programs that are structured in a way to be highly accessible, we try to form partnerships with organizations throughout the city so that there is some kind of pipeline that's created. And so it's not just that we can support you and that we can try to become more inclusive as an organization, but that we are, a stepping stone to really accessing the greater network and ecosystem in the city. I think for some of the incubators or accelerators in New Orleans, they might be focusing on, what their programs should look like and getting companies that can scale, and they're not thinking maybe as much about inclusivity or being equitable. And if we can focus on that as like the core reason that we exist, and then be able to help connect a pipeline of entrepreneurs into these larger accelerators that might have more connections with investors and kind of the things that you need to be able to keep growing, then we can play that role as kind of the first step in the ecosystem.
You kind of took my answer there.
I'm sorry.
So when we talk about numbers in the city of New Orleans, Black people, I want to be specific when I say Black. Black people make up the majority of the small businesses that are here, but we only account for 4% of the receipts. So the revenues are just not happening for us. The other piece of that is not only is the revenue happening, they're telling us to wrap up, we need to make sure that beyond just undergirding that diversity and inclusion doesn't become a buzzword, right? So we throw that kind of around a lot. Diversity and inclusion, it sounds really great. We sound really smart when we say it, right? But how do we go beyond just the buzzwords and really make it something tangible? And how we want to do that is education and awareness, and making sure that our businesses are like you were saying before, getting access to the capital, educating, raising awareness, getting people to understand what biases are and what they look like, shedding those biases, right? Making sure that everyone has a place at the table, and if they don't want to be at the table, giving them an opportunity to make their own table, cook their own food, invite their own people to it. And that all means that everybody has to be at the table with the same definitions, same language, and same goals to making sure that we go beyond just having African American businesses valued at $30,000, right? Our average business is $30,000, and we make up the majority of the small businesses here. That just doesn't add up. So education, advocacy, and making sure that our ecosystem leaders and advocates are also having the conversation.
And briefly, I'll just add that this is 60% of the population of New Orleans is underrepresented community members. But our workforce development programs need to focus more on that. You know, being able to include as many people as possible in the tech industry, and I think the latest numbers I've seen are 10 to 20% of the population of the higher tech growth companies are underrepresented community members. It's a huge challenge this city and a lot of the Gulf South needs to solve in the next 10 years to elevate all.
So I think we have to wrap it up here because we got some teams they need to pitch.
Yeah,
Thank you for your answers.
A round of applause. Thank you so much for coming out on a Sunday. Yeah, I'll leave it here. Thanks. I wish I could grow a third hand for that. And our judges, can our judges please make their way to the stage? Awesome. I'd like to take this moment to remind everyone, make sure you're posting on social media for this. The hashtag for today is StartupBus Summit. StartupBus Summit. And remember to always thank our sponsors constantly so they sponsor us again. Yeah, make next year's conductors' lives easier. All right. I don't need to.
What are you trying to say with that?
That I don't need two microphones.
Oh. Oh, I thought you meant I don't need.
Oh. Oh no, I meant I don't need two microphones. Good to know. I've never heard that before. I'm not. I don't know when he was relevant, but I'm sure it was sometime. I didn't mean that to come out as horrible as it. Does anyone know where the sound? Hello. Oh, yeah, it's on. Thank you, Danny. Or if it wasn't Danny, thank you whoever else it was. All right, we're going to talk to the judges a little bit while they're getting set up. Judges, hi.
Hi.
What's your name? Yeah, it works.
I like the new music. It's more relaxed.
Yeah, very relaxing. I think this is music.
Yeah.
Not even music.
So
it is? I don't know anything. You're learning that about me, Greg.
My name is William Spencer. I'm an angel investor. I'm kind of a nomadic hobo.
Cool.
I'm very happy to be here.
Nice. So, have you been involved with StartupBus before?
Nope, this is my first time.
Nice. Having fun?
Very fun.
Yeah. Could you believe they built these things on a bus in 3 days with very bad Wi-Fi?
It's very impressive.
Yeah, We've got a good group this year. All right, so can you tell us a little bit about your background, William?
Yeah, so I've been involved in tech startups and also creative advertising. So I've worked on lots of big brands, making ads, coming up with ideas for marketing.
All right, great. Well, thank you, William. We'll meet the rest of our judges a little later. And it looks like right now we have some time, or it is the time. Are you ready? Yeah. For Sensor Trail. Yeah, and it's on the big screen. All right, you have 3 minutes. Whenever you're ready.
We are Sensor Trail. We are the connection between gym and data. Think Facebook, Amazon, or Google. Facebook is not just a social media company. Amazon is not just an online retailer. Google is not just a search company. They're really data vaults, and they use all this data to improve their services. Introducing Jerry, a small gym owner in rural Kentucky. Jerry collects data manually. He takes pencil and paper and tracks all the things he needs around the gym. But this is quite inefficient, and Jerry is in competition with people like Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness is a global behemoth who owns 25% of a $30 billion industry. And that alone, you can tell that Planet Fitness has the price advantage. Jerry can never compete on price, never. But where he can compete is by customer service, and that is where we come in. We install IoT devices on gym equipment for Jerry, and these IoT devices track the data, track the usage of these machines and transfers it to the cloud, which transfers it to a dashboard where Jerry can make use of this data more efficiently.
So what's our competition? I'll give you two. The first one is a data management system for the gym. It tracks users' appointments for the owner, and also allows the owner to schedule maintenance on his machines. However, it does not track the interaction the user has with the machine, nor does Fitbit that tracks users' habits in the gym. So how are we going to make money? The first way we're going to make money is we'll charge the gym owners $1,000 for an installation fee. So that with 100 machines, it's a $1,000 price, and we'll charge them $1,200 a year. So that's about $100 a month. And I'm sure you're thinking that might be too much for Jerry, but it's really not, because on average, one user brings in $514 to a single gym. That means that if we get 10 users to come to his gym, he can make $5,170. That will clearly cover our price. And if he tells his friends, that means if he gets 10 gym users for us, we can make $22,000. So you can clearly see how this will scale. So what's our vision? We want to help Jerry and other gym owners like him stand on an equal level with people like Planet Fitness. So help us help Jerry by telling your gym to sign up on our website, sensortrail.cubeside.io. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Sensor Trail. Yeah, great job.
And my name is Corey Cargill. I'm the COO of the company.
My name is Daniel Ajadi, head of R&D.
Andy Matovsky, CTO.
Tanner Segro, CEO.
All right, now judges, do you have any questions for them?
I have a basic question. So it's collecting data from the machines. How is that useful to the gym owner, and how does that bring in users, new customers?
Yeah, so we surveyed 40 gym goers, and their main frustration going to the gym was that a machine was in use when they got there. So we see an advantage to the gym goers by utilizing app in later versions to know when machines are in use and peak times of each machine that they're utilizing in their workouts.
So what did you guys actually build?
So the question was, what did we actually build? we wanted to demonstrate proof of concept, so we had a vibration sensor and a Raspberry Pi, and we put that on a treadmill to show that we can tell just from vibration alone, which you can measure very cheaply and easily, whether a machine is on or not. And the idea, we also set up a cloud server and a local server. We showed that we can get data from the machine via Wi-Fi from that Raspberry Pi, and we have the pieces of the server to show that you can get data in and out to cloud. We're still at the integration stage.
Why wouldn't you sell your technology to the equipment providers and just make it almost like it's an Internet of Things, integrated into all of their devices?
Because we could see ourselves expanding to the customers themselves. Because if we target gym owners and get our equipment in his gym, we can then expand our app to track the number of reps or different gym habits that they do. But we can see that happening in the future. Right now, we're just trying to target the niche of gym owners.
Also, right now, most of these gym owners already have the equipment. These gym equipments are quite expensive. So for now, at least, have a separate standalone device that they can attach to their already existing device, and we can go from there. In the future, we can work with manufacturers and have it embedded in this equipment.
How much does it cost you to build one unit of these?
Our electrical engineer can handle that.
The idea is, let's suppose you've got a gym with 100 machines in it. You'd need a sensor in each of those machines, and you'd need, let's say, one microcontroller for each 10 machines that relays that data to a cloud server. So once this is scaled, once this is already developed, imagine $1 per sensor, $10 per microcontroller. So for 100 machines, you might have $10 times 10 spent for microcontrollers plus another $10 for sensors itself.
Sorry, what's the question again?
How much does it cost you to build? Not how much you're going to sell it at. How much does it cost you to build?
So this requires development costs as well as hardware costs and installation costs. Hardware and installation comes out of that $1,000, but we have a $1,200 annual fee that we're charging them. Our development costs come out of that annual, yearly, recurring fee. Our prototype was about $200, but it does a lot more. It's not specialized to what we did, to gyms. We used a Raspberry Pi, which is a general purpose machine, not a specialized microcontroller.
All right, thank you very much. We're out of time, but great job. Oh, here, I can grab that. Thank you. Next up, we have hospital fee. Hospital fee from Florida. Here, oh, I should move that to a better place, sorry. All right, here, okay. Yeah, there we go. All right. Here, can you take the mic? Thank you. Hospital team is from the Florida bus, which merged with our DC bus about on day one. Yeah. They had a little bit of bus problems, but they made it here. After, how long were you on the side of the road?
For a while.
For a while. I heard a few hours on the side of a road in a broken down bus. And you kept on building, right?
Of course we did.
Yeah.
No pain, no game, right?
Yeah! Of course they did. I like that attitude.
Thank you. It's what keeps me going.
Yeah. That and coffee?
I'm actually not a coffee person because
Really?
I just have so much energy all the time. So I go straight through.
You know, I'm usually not a coffee person, but I don't know if I could do that while on StartupBus. I'm usually really good, no caffeine, and then every year StartupBus kicks in the habit again.
That's crazy.
It's the worst. It's the lack of sleep. I say, having gotten 8 hours of sleep last night, I'm a fraud.
Wow.
All right. So let's talk to the judges again. Ready? Are you ready? Never mind. No talking to the judges. Maybe I'll need more of that coffee. All right.
So I was on the way to school, walking down the street, minding my own business, when suddenly a car bulldozes over me. My doctor then slaps me with a $5,000 MRI fee, something I couldn't afford. Why is it so expensive when internationally this same MRI is available for $500? There are other companies which allow us to compare prices, compare doctors and reviews, but these companies don't allow me to have value, and I need something with value. I need something that I could afford.
That's what hospital fee comes into play. Lillian has the ability to create a profile on our platform, provide her prescription, as you can see here, and this gives the opportunity where Lillian has options because doctors or physicians or clinics are bidding. Let's try Tampa Bay area imaging. They have the credentials and the specialty. They seem legit. So let's go ahead and choose them. Accept bid. I will then finish. Let's head up to confirmation. Let me see if I can get confirmation. Confirmation is coming. It's coming. There it is. Okay. This is still real time, of course. So yeah, I'll confirm for Tuesday. Tuesday, we're good. Press enter. Done. Okay, so everything works out well. Get my MRI, finish up, get my listing, provide my review. Everything is good. Move forward that way. It's done. So how we make our money is 5% off the patient and 15% off the doctor.
Thank you. So this is just one use case scenario. Our audience has already reached out to us and told us that this would be great for procedures, blood work, imaging, ultrasounds, and more. And we've already contacted our exclusive network of providers to be able to secure pricing for several procedures, including in vitro. So we have a pricing that's 1/3 the national average, and it's in New York. We can offer hysterectomies for half the price in these locations. We have vitamin D deficiency screenings at 1/5 of the price of the national average in all of these locations. We are focused on providing value to people who really need this. And we've been able to do this in just 5 days because our team has over 7 years of healthcare experience and because Pablo's friends who have been our advice team and have helped us along the way.
So we're focused to tackling the market of $3.3 trillion, but we're really focused on this obtainable market of $650 million. Where does the $650 million really come into play? It's this market where we can identify who they are, what procedure that they need, and then most importantly, the funding that they've raised.
Sophie! All right. Now, judges, do you have any questions?
Will this be for in-network, out-of-network elective procedures?
Our focus right now would be the uninsured, and then high deductible, insured high deductible. But we anticipate the GoFundMe people we've been talking to have been uninsured.
Are you planning on getting involved with any sort of insurance, any liability issues, or are you just going to be the middle person?
I think there's a huge opportunity there. Our first thing that we actually want to tackle are stories. People talk about traction. I don't know really what that means. I mean, I've done businesses before, but I'm in anticipation is we have GoFundMe. I think we can share some amazing stories, have successes there, and then we can introduce those stories to the Anthem and Blue Cross and Blue Shoes and see if there's actually viability there. So that's like an even power of distribution in that regard. So to answer your question, yes, there's an opportunity for us to go there. We're really focusing on the uninsured on the GoFundMe side as our 1.0 GTM.
How do you plan on reaching these users, and how do you plan on connecting with medical providers?
Yeah, so we have those medical providers across the country. Getting to the users is the GoFundMe people that are currently raising because we know who they are, how much money they raise, and exact procedures that they need. So therefore, we can actually share those stories to the doctors and provide comparison pricing.
So can you just email them?
Yeah, you can email them, or you can email 20 of the ones in the Tampa Bay area, or the Phoenix area, or the Los Angeles area.
What technology do you have that prevents this from being replicated by one of the insurance companies, given the disparity between the discounts that you guys believe you're going to get and what the price is today? There's a lot of room there.
Yeah, so those are the prices today. Those are the competitive pricing. That's kind of our secret sauce. As for the technology, I think any technology can be replicated, and that's kind of why we're here. But I think our competitive advantage is our pricing, and that's what's going to make us win in the space.
Okay, so what do you anticipate will be the length of time that you'll have that competitive advantage? So to your point, all of this technology can be replicated, but if you can only have that price differential for a year, that's different than having it for 60 months.
Sorry, I can't hear. Go ahead.
My point was, what is the I don't understand your pricing methodology and how you see that as a competitive advantage if, to your point, the technology can be replicated so readily.
I think any technology can be replicated. Let's just be honest there. The prices that we have, no one is getting it at the moment. That's our personal pricing. Am I missing something? I'm sorry, did someone want to say?
I'm trying to figure out the longevity of this business. It's almost like a stock in that, yes, you have great pricing today. 2 months from now, someone else could replicate your pricing.
Could it change? So that's the idea of having the bidding process. Yeah, it could change, but by having the options of the bidding prices, that's kind of what keeps us level. People will come to us, and the idea is that we'll become top of mind again, they'll come back to us again, because if it's not our pricing, then it's the 20 people around them. The idea is we want to save them time, and a lot of this is because of the mandated government laws that just provided in July.
All right, thank you, Hospital Fee. Yeah, next up we have Road Race. Another New York team. New York! Yeah, that is my old bus! All right, and we'll have this is our last team before another break. Yeah. All right. Yeah, look at these shirts. They are, judges, I don't know if you can see from here, but they're embroidered. They got embroidered polo shirts for 3 days on a bus, or in 3 days on a bus. I don't know if I've ever seen the embroidered polos. That is very professional. Yeah. All right, we'll let you get set up there. I'd like to take this moment to thank our sponsors. We have Advancing Black Pathways and Chase for Business are two of our big sponsors, as well as Twilio. Yeah, Twilio. We have the lanyard, Source Toad. Yeah, Greg. Yeah, Source Toad. Mother Base and Sable are some of our sponsors. We'll talk about the other ones later. We have some pretty fantastic sponsors. All right, and our speaker after this, we'll have a fantastic speaker from Alicia Syret, and I'm so sorry if I mispronounced that last name.
prepare better.
Exactly. Like, you get the extra help. Like, I was the only developer on my team, and I was also the only pitcher, so we were stretched thin technically. So when we had no one else from us to like make it through the first day, we got another developer to help us out. I got to sleep. It was like probably the reason we won, because we got help and I got sleep.
You were in Daisy, right?
Yeah. Good memory.
Did you didn't keep that going, did you?
No, it's a really depressing concept to like it's a funeral planning platform, and for a while, for like 5 6 months afterwards, if you put my name, it would auto-complete with death. After this, so people don't leave during lab. Yeah. Thank you. Wasn't there a reality TV show?
It was in the Coin Network, whatever. It's okay. It's mainly about me being weird and Ray Lang being difficult.
I remember that. Oh God, they had that shot of him with his suitcase. I watched it right. So I would say, yeah, it made me not want to go on the bus when I watched it the day before the bus. Yeah, they did a reality podcast a couple years ago. Reality podcast. Yeah.
Gimlet followed it.
Yeah, Gimlet Media followed the bus I rode. Wow. 2 years ago. Yeah, or 2 competitions ago, like a year. New York bus. Yeah. No, last year's Silicon Valley one. I feel like a lot of the times when they cover it, they focus on different. Hello, we are ready. Thank you for your patience. We have road race. Take it away.
What's up, everybody? So we are Road Race. Meet Rodney. Rodney is a Louisiana State representative running for re-election in 2020. Although Rodney is locally based in Jefferson Parish, oftentimes he's required to travel throughout the expansive state of Louisiana in order to meet with his supporters and fellow constituents, as well as fundraise for his campaign. So, Rodney needs a way to plan his journey, capture these moments with the constituents and supporters while on the road, as well as fundraise for his political campaign. And Rodney is not alone. Each month, 35,000 people hit the road in order to raise funds for causes that they believe in. This could be political, charity for social impact, like Susan G. Komen, or for business. And not only that, while on the startup bus, we consulted 140 people. Of that 140 people, 85% stated that they will utilize an app similar to Road Race in order to capture experiences while on the road. 60% also stated that they will utilize an app similar to Road Race in order to fundraise.
Road Race captures and shares your journey on the road, enables you to raise awareness and funds for a cause that you care about, and share your entire journey with the community along the way. We have a full stack AWS app running where folks can share their journey and raise awareness of their causes and share images and stop by stop where they're going. So far, we launched marketing via an advertisement video, including a jingle, and wrote a song that's in the jingle. We have raised $250 from 10 different people through our app so far for Hope Center Uganda for their Hope Mobile, where they're having transportation much like we have needed on the startup bus. From a competitor perspective, there are competing apps that will let you plot stop by stop, but not tell a story of a journey as a whole. From a business model perspective, our app is free. we would look to raise money for our company based on a tiered fee system per campaign. And when we collect data based on stops, we could create sponsored stops and routes. We are requesting advisement as well as networking ability to get more penetration in the market. And with RoadRaise, you can bring the community on your journey for a cause.
Yeah, thank you. All right.
Can you explain how it works or what it does? It sounds kind of like a race for raising money or something like that, but I don't think you actually described to us what it is.
Sure, it fully manages your campaign for